Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's Ceri the Crafter, and I'm here with a follow-up video. Now, about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I did a review of this book, and I absolutely love this book. And in that video about this book, I did say I was going to choose one of the projects to do as a follow-up video, basically because I'm excited about this. Now, for anyone out there who thinks that I shouldn't be doing someone else's project, know that I reached out to Kate Rebecca Leach prior to the first video, and I asked her, do you mind if I do a review of your book, and do you mind if I do one of your projects? And she came back with a resounding yes please. She was very excited that I was excited to discover her book, and she actually told me she has a second book in the works, which I'm very excited about as well. No launch date on that, however. So I went through this book and chose, predictably, because I think I mentioned it in the first one, this project. Absolutely love this one. Let's see if I lift it up. And it's all about beginner's abstract. So I'm going to be doing this. Don't know that I'm going to exactly copy the colour scheme. Maybe, I'm unsure at the moment. But yes, I'm excited to get on with this. I'm excited. It's a really simple project. I've already read through it because I wanted to make sure I was familiar with it. So there is no size on this, but I've actually taken a piece of watercolour paper. I'm going to push that up there. So actually I need to put it where I can see it. If I put it over to one side, because you don't need to be able to see it, but I do. So I've got myself a piece of watercolour paper. And the watercolour paper I've got is this one. Now, my rule of thumb is I don't buy the least expensive paper, but I don't buy the most expensive paper either, because I'm still on a learning curve. I don't want to spend a fortune on watercolour paper for me to ruin it. And I found this watercolour paper, for me personally, works wonderfully. So that's where you see it. I bought it in Michael's in America. It was on sale in their bin, and I went, right, I'm buying it, and I've been using it for all my projects, and I have seen this online as well. So you can buy whatever you use. This has got some texture to it, not a huge amount of texture to it, but actually I'm quite happy with the texture. And this is cold press. The hot press is the one that's smooth. I quite like hot press when I'm doing some detailed work, but for this project, cold press will actually play to my strengths. I have taped it down. I've got some low tack tape here. I tape the edges, not because anything is going to the edges, but to prevent it curling up on me and causing me more issues. Right, I think we just need to get on with this, don't we? Right, I've got myself a palette here. Is that in shot? It should be in shot. I've got myself well, these are all watercolour paint brushes I own. So I think there is enough there to do anything that I want to do, just because. I'm unsure which I'm going to use. What number is this? This is a number 10. Yes, let's start with a number 10. Don't know why I suddenly decided on that, but I just did. Let's put the paintbrushes up there so they're just in sight. Now I've got my watercolour palette here. Now the two colours, well the three colours, actually the four colours that Kate used were these: burnt sienna, burnt umber, Payne's grey and raw umber. Now I don't really have all of those in here, so I'm going to take a bit of license, artistic license, and do something slightly different, but I'm going to keep relatively the same. So where's my water? So I've got my two watercolor jars here. One is for dirty water, one is for cleaning the brush. I've got a pipette here, and I do that because it's easier for me to put water into my palette with a pipette, should I choose. I'm going to do a little bit on that one as well. Now, if I make up too much of a certain color, it's actually okay, because obviously when water, can I move this over a bit further, you can see that as well. Because once the watercolor dries in the palette, I can reactivate it. I'm not worried about that. So I'm a bit of a dithery moment. I don't feel I've set myself up correctly. Put those on that side. So let me get a brush on the go. Right, burnt umber. Burnt umber. There is burnt brown in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that burnt umber? It's the trouble with this colour chart, it was upside down. Burnt umber is that one. Right, just so I can get some colour in here. Now, I'm just making a light wash because if there's something I have learnt doing watercolour, and goodness knows we all know I'm on a journey for that, it's the fact that start light, go dark, and build up with layers. I also have with me a cloth which I use to just clean my brush off a bit. Right, what was the other colours? Payne's Grey. Now, there is a Payne's Grey in this one, apparently. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's that one there. I've lost track. No, it is that one there. So, the trouble with this, okay, they sent you a colour chart, but it's upside down. And what I mean by upside down is, let me just see if I can put that somewhere. If we look at the pans I had to swatch, the first row is actually that way up. So it means the wording is upside down. So the second row is that way up. So you can't necessarily just turn it upside down because, anyway, it's just confusing. I didn't catch that when I first reviewed this set, but it's something that has annoyed me slightly ever since because I spent, as you can see, time trying to work out which is which. That must be my dirty. That's my clean. Right, and I wanted to bring in some olive green, which is a colour that's up here. I'm trying to stay with earthy type colours, obviously, because we're going to be doing pebbles. Now, she had 4 colours. What was the other one? So I've got burnt sienna, burnt umber. I've got burnt sienna in here. I don't think I do. I've got raw umber, however. Actually, I think I'm just going to take a bit of a dark brown, which could be that colour there. Well, actually, that colour there, I think. Now, I dirtied that down, and I did it on purpose because I wanted to make sure it wasn't green. I wanted it to be a shade of a green, should we say. Now, in the instructions, it just says, and let me read, because goodness knows I don't want to get this wrong. It says, start by masking off your paper, which I've done. Before painting, put a small object. Oh, I forgot that bit, right. This was a very clever technique I didn't realise. Should just say, get a small eraser and put it under the top edge. Oh, paintbrushes are now rolling under there. Under the top of your piece to make it raise slightly. And this is so that gravity will help you put a shadow at the bottom of the pebbles. Really love that idea, Kate. Great tip. Right, it says start at the top of the palette. I'm going to put that up there just so I can see roughly what I'm doing. Start at the top of the palette and work down. So I'm just going to get a wet brush. Not too wet, just going to brush off a little bit excess. And I guess there's nothing like just starting, is there? So now the rules were, if there are rules per se, keep your shapes loose and try and connect them like that. Make them touch slightly. And that's because the bleed through from one colour to another is something that you're looking for. Now, I must admit, part of me, when I first read this, thought that this was a wet on wet technique, and it wasn't. So let's see. Let's come in with another colour. I am kind of trying to mimic what Kate did, but I'm not trying to be exact about it. She did say touch them, didn't she? Also, I'm just really looking for literally organic shapes here. Now, part of me doesn't want that directly under there, so I'm going to come in here with a bigger pebble. And if I feel I want to come in and actually put any more pebbles in there, I will do. I'm already feeling I need something with a bit more red to it, but we'll get to that in a moment maybe. I think I need to be aware that all my pebbles are looking elongated, so maybe this one can be a fat pebble. I do like this bleed through. Yes, I want to add a bit more oomph to this raw umber. It's looking a bit, it's not looking dark enough for me anyway. Put a small one in here. There you go, I'm quite liking that colour in there too. It sort of just introduces something new. Now I don't mind there being another one that's come through here. I don't seem to be getting the movement of it down as Kate suggested, but that could be because maybe I'm just not being wet enough with it. I think what I'll do is once I've done them, you're supposed to let them dry and then drop more colour into them. I think what I'm going to do, which I might do it now before things dry, I'm going to come in and I'm going to drop more colour into things. I'm not sure I'm doing exactly what should be done, but I don't like the way that that didn't really... Just give me a second. That doesn't look like it's the right colour in it, it just looks nasty. But I have learned you can lift out. Very happy about that. So right, what I need to do, I think I need to wet the pebble first. And by wet it, I mean it needs to be damp, not a puddle. Then I'm going to come in and then drop in. I think that's what I need to do. Just want to brush it over there where I peeled that off. Right, let's do that to the others. We've got a hair on here. I do have a hair on here. I think I have to try and take it off when it's dry because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that off. Oh, that was the wrong colour. I'm excited to get working my way through these. I really am. It's an interesting book. A lot of you have actually said you've put it in your basket for Christmas. Great move. I think it'll be well worth doing because the journey we'll go through, well, not we, well, yes, you and I, when we're doing this, the journey you'll go through is a great learning curve for us all. Where's that pinky colour gone? And this pinky colour down here again. Yeah, I think my paper was just soaking the colour up too quickly. Therefore, I wasn't getting what I was hoping to get. Let's just bring that in on this one. And because I've already contaminated my burnt sienna, I changed it up. Remember, I added more red to it. I'm going to have to just leave that just as it is. Because at the end of the day, it was just a paler version. Now, some people would say this is loose watercolours, which I am familiar with that term, so I'm okay with that. Right, I just want to get this one here to have a bit more Payne's grey in it. Now, there is going to be a break in this video because I have to let this completely and utterly fully dry. Okay, right, I can start on the next bit now. Now, I don't mind that I've got these edges forming, these here. I mean, Ceri dabbing them out. Try to take some of that out of there because a big puddle of it. I do not mind that because that will add to the character of what I'm doing. Right. Let's get another one in. Where do I want this? Let's do it this way instead. This was the olive type colour, which I'd like to come in with a little bit more of that olive colour and just drop it in there. That's cute. I do know, obviously, that the colours will dry differently. I'm really thinking I want to play around with some of these colours a bit more. Just going to put some of the blue in here. Now, I don't want to get too far away from my original palette, but I would like to tweak it slightly. Let's add a little bit of, it's called dioxazine purple. Hopefully I'm not just about to ruin this whole thing, because obviously I'm not swatching anything on my people. Just a little bit of that in there so that if it's too dark, then I'm not having an issue with it. And where are we? We need to put a large one in here. Okay, that was good. I'm glad I didn't put my original batch into it, that I actually watered it down even further. And then come in with some of the darker to drop in. Okay, I'm loving where this is going so far. Do I mind that there? Maybe I don't. I do struggle, as you know, with leaving white space. So maybe this is the time to actually leave some white space. Let's put a small one in here. I don't have many small ones on this page. Again, come in and drop in some of the other colour into this. Now guys, this is by no way a tutorial. This is me following a tutorial, okay? For me, there is a huge amount of difference in that. Right, I'd quite like to put one down here, and I think it needs to be... Do you know, I need this one over here. See, this is the trouble. I'm now trying to make sure it's perfect, when that's not the way this works. I was supposed to make them touch as well. And again, come in and drop in some of the extra colour. I do like these bleed throughs. I think I just need to do a green one in this corner. And actually, if I go all the way from there, all the way up to there, and touching that one, it'll be a nice thing to do. Now, the other thing I'm really, really bad at is stopping fiddling with stuff, which we all do. I mean, let's just be honest about this. That one needs a little bit more on there. Let's put a little bit of something into that just to bloom out a bit. I'm really bad. I just fiddle and fiddle. As you can see, I'm fiddling now. And I wouldn't mind, but I'm telling you I'm fiddling. Therefore, don't you think I should stop? Right. This, I think, is my basis. Do I want to add anything else? If I add something there, it becomes too squared. I don't want that. I really want to put something in there, but maybe I shouldn't. I do feel I need another purple stone. And part of me is saying I need it over here. It doesn't have to be a big one, just needs to be a purple stone. It can be a purple stone that's hiding behind other stones. Actually, it should come down and rest on there. A little bit of purple in there to make it work for me. Right, I now need to stop, and I'm back. What I've done is I've made a more concentrated version of each of the colours here, and this is dry. I'm not overly happy with some of these pebbles. Like this one has no real shading in it, this one doesn't, this one doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to a number 6 brush. I'm going to take it off my rubber thing and turn it on its side, because the bit I want to do is going to be easier if I do it this way. So I'm just going to wet my brush, and this is not in the tutorial, this is just me being me. This is the Payne's Grey, a more concentrated version, and I'm just going to come in and give myself a bit more of something in here. And then once I've got that done, I'm just going to take a brush with just water, and then I'm going to just blend it out that edge. And hopefully when this dries, it'll give me more of what I was hoping to get. It could well have been that my paper, as I said, was an inexpensive paper, and because it's, well, it's not inexpensive, it's not the best quality paper, and I think what happened is it just soaked up the moisture too quickly, and it didn't have time to do all of its fabulous stuff. So there you go. So I'm happier now that I've got that one done, and I'm going to do the same with a couple of the others. Like this green one, I quite liked where this went, but I would like to have a bit more of a, almost a bloom type of thing across it. Now, once this one's dry, I will then go back to the plan of what we were supposed to be doing. While you're doing this, I must admit, if I'd have been doing this last year, I would not have been brave enough to just decide that I was going to deviate from the plan. I would actually not have deviated at all. I wonder if they get that to rebleed. Yes, I can. Now, some of you are probably going to say, Ceri, isn't that just your perfectionism kicking in? Yep, it could well be, people. It could well be. But if I'm going to spend time and effort doing this and enjoying it, which I really am enjoying it, then I want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can, because that's where the enjoyment lies for me. And I am going to force this bit of a bleed here because I've lost it. I did change out my water, by the way. There you go. Let's go back to taking the purple to another level. I don't really want harsh lines, but in this project, hard lines are not really an issue, because we're going to be decorating over the top of them, and you either conceal them or reveal them, as I usually say. Okay, and see, if I tilt this up now, when any water in it moves down, it will give it more. I want more of this in here. I quite like where this went, but I don't need to do too much on this rock or pebble, because I quite like it. Now I could come in and do splatters on some of these, but I'm not sure how I can be as accurate as I want with my splatters. I may say inaccurate because I don't really want them going on the white areas. Let's come in again with the darker green. The clean water. So I'm not hugely talkative because I'm concentrating, people. I'm concentrating. Right, where's the Payne's grey gone? There it is. Now, not every one of these pebbles bled into another pebble, so I'm okay about that. Okay, getting there. Now, I think I want to work on that one over there now. And I don't mind bringing that up there to bring that out. Sorry guys, I know you're usually used to me being very talkative during my videos, and some of you have always said that's the reason you like my videos. Please forgive me. When I'm doing something like this, which is completely new to me, and not watercolors, I mean this project, then I just feel I want to concentrate, give it the value it needs. Try and do both of these at the same time. Come up to our very last one. Well, the very last one I'm going to be messing around with anyway. I think we're going to put this back on its slope. Okay, I'm happier with that. It's got more of the weightedness. That was what I was aiming for, and this is what I've got. I'm happy with that. Right. Right, so nothing looks shiny when I tilt it up, so I'm guessing that means this is dry enough. Now, the markings that Kate made were like the striations within pebbles and these dots and circles and things. I've got an idea about how I want to do those marks, because I'm not sure I just want to paint them ad hoc. But I want to come in, actually, what did she do? Like, she used different colours that are not in the original pebbles. So I'm just going to come in and just put something in here. I think that'll do for that one. Now things will dry lighter. We know they're going to dry lighter. If I've got that, I think I'd like to put now obviously you can reference real pebbles for this. In fact, I think that might be what Kate recommends, is doing something like that. I did want to come in with some kind of dots, but okay, I'm okay with that. I've got two sets. I feel I need a third set with striations in it. I keep saying the word striations because I can't think what the real word is, guys. Forgive me on that one. Let's just put some banding around here. I think that's enough of stripes because I've done enough of stripes now. What did I pull out? I pulled out this. I'm going to go to like my mark making thing. This is the inner tube of, I think it was a small calculator paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in my watercolour and actually just use it to put marks. And obviously they don't need to be perfect marks. I like that. That's okay. That was good. Right. Actually, I'm wondering whether I could use another size as well. I've got this bigger size here. I'm wondering whether this might be too big though. If I put it in and actually use it to just put marks on things. I think that's okay. So just using the randomness of the edges. I know I've gone a bit off-piste at the moment and gone away from what is supposed to be being done, but this is working for me. And I'm happy it's working for me. I quite like that to have been a bit softer. I wonder whether I can just lift some of that out. That one line just looks a little bit dark for me. That's better, I don't mind that. Now, I did say I wanted some splatters on here, but I don't think I want to do them now. Oh, have I got anything else I can do marks with? I wanted some sort of dots other than the little ones. I wonder. End of a pencil. I'm okay with that. That gives me a sort of an organic shape. I think I need to stop, don't I? Or else I'm going to get way, way, way too enhanced with all of this. Now, do I like the intensity of everything here? I kind of think, even though I liked these here, I quite like to soften some of that a little bit. See what I mean? I like the way that that blends itself out a bit. This line here is still a bit heavy for me. That's better. Oh, didn't rinse my brush, did I? Silly boy. Oh, actually, I quite like that. I press down on them. Okay, that's working even better for me. It's lifting stuff out of it. Oh, really liking that. Okay. Quite like to have a bit of a moment with these. I'm looking at this one here thinking it needs a something. I'm wondering, I've got this piece of card. You're bound to have seen it before. I just want to leave that on there a second. Now I've got a kind of a problem now because my white markers are not really going to give me the results I want. So let's just see whether I can pull in just a piece of black and have a look at my jelly rolls. Now I do like these. Actually, that might work. What's that? That's a 0.8. See, that's just not good enough. What's this? This is a 10 now. Actually, I think the 10 would be the better of the two. Now, I do have a white Posca, although we know I'm not hugely successful with a white Posca. Mind you, in this instance, is it the right one? Now, I know it's fading because it's on black, so I'm not overly worried about it. I think with the combination of those two, this might well work for me. My instinct is I want to bring black into this, but let's hold fire on that and think about it. Right, let's get rid of that. And we're back, and we're dry, and I took the tape off. The tape didn't damage the paper. However, when I looked at it, it didn't look right anymore because there was too much of a border. So I took a little bit off one side and a little bit off the other side, just to focus it in a bit. So just because I wanted to. Now, one thing I do want to do is I'm going to just sign this. And I'm signing it because I always forget to sign things. What month are we in? Is it November? It is November. Just so that I know when I did this, because I like to see the progression that I go through. So let's have a little quick look at what Kate did with hers. Actually, I can probably go back to the bigger image. It'd be easier for you to see. There you go. So Kate very much only doodled in white, which is fine. and I quite like that anyway. So I'm going to come in and emulate some of the ideas from there, and then, because every piece of art, even though I worked with the instructions, Kate's project is an inspiration to enhance your personal techniques by doing the project. That's the way I view things like this. My aim was never to perfectly duplicate what Kate did, and I'm happy with that because I ended up with a piece I really, really like. Right, let's go in. I'm going to go in with the Posca first of all because I want to put in the white lines, and I'm not really sure where I want them to be. Now, Kate did do just random white lines, which might be a bit difficult for me because I'm not a random person, as we know. I like things at right angles, but I'm happy to comply. You never know, I may discover that I like something that I'm doing. Okay. As I said, my gut is actually saying I want to pull in black, but then that's my mixed media head talking. And that's me and my acrylics talking, which is, as you know, what I normally work in. Have I been in shot for all of that? I have. Right, okay. Right, so she's done 3. I think I should do 3 also. That one's just crying out to be done as far as I'm concerned. And I think I am going to do 1 or 2 that are not as random. The white definitely shows up better on the other colour. Right, and I'd quite like 1 more. And as you know, I tend to work in triangles. Also, I'm very much about my eye leading myself around the composition. Yes, we'll do this one. Now, arguably, Posca pens are not watercolour because they're acrylic pens. But then, if I'm using a gel pen, that's not watercolour either, so I'm not worried about that. So, see, I've brought that balance in. Let's put the lid on this one so it doesn't dry out. Let's see what else. Let's start somewhere at the top, right? These circles look similar to those circles, so wondering whether if I put a line in the middle. These pens are just not strong enough for me. Do anyone else struggle with white pens? I do all the time. Let's see if I'm doing Posca, whether it'll be... Okay, Posca for once is a better option. I really struggle with white pens. And I have loads of white pens because everyone always recommends different white pens, and then I rush out and buy them and find out they're not any better than the white pen I had before. Okay, liking that. I feel I want to do something similar down here, but I don't want to do the inside and the outside. So maybe I'll just put a white dot in the middle. Oh, that's some major sunshine. Sorry about that, guys. It was supposed to be dull and overcast today, which is why I started filming. It's about 8:30 in the morning here. I wasn't expecting, firstly, the sun to be that bold, but also wasn't expecting to come out that quickly. Okay, that's better. Let's see. Right, these pens are beginning to do me in. I think I'm going to have to switch to other colours or a other colour, because I'm just not happy with how this is going, and I put some effort into this, and I'd rather have them look nice for you, because I'd rather them look nice for me as well. Wait a minute, what colour is this? Is this another white? It is. It's a bit thicker. Let's see if the thicker white Posca give me a better result. It's just not doing it for me, guys. This is frustrating. Right, Kate, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to black pen, because it's going to give me what I want, I think. Yeah, let's just see how black looks on here. See, it's a lot more dramatic, but that's actually okay. Right, something Kate did was she accentuated, I don't want to say she accentuated the flaws, but she accentuated pieces where the watercolour bled. And then okay. So I'm just thinking, guys. I really did want these outlined. If white isn't going to do it, then black's going to. This needs something as well. I really do wish the white had been brighter. I wonder if I go to a thicker white. Is that the wrong thing to do? Am I going to ruin this? If I do it in thicker white, then it will be more dominant. I just hope it doesn't bleed under my ruler. I have to let that dry a bit before I go back in. I'm not sure whether the thicker line was actually a good move or a bad move, but I can see it at least. I wonder whether I can freehand these. I do have the line underneath to follow. Actually, I think the white Poscas are probably the better option today. I do have a set of, let's reach them. I did buy myself a set of these. I couldn't find the brush tip ones because apparently there are brush tip ones, but I thought I'd try these. These are new paint markers by Sharpie, so I'm going to do a bit of review of those. Not sponsored, obviously, because I went out and bought them myself, but I do think I really would like just to see what the options are out there. I want to fill in those a bit. I think I might call that done. It's definitely not what I was hoping it would be because of the markers, but I enjoyed the process and I learned a lot. Yeah, I think we're going to, says he. I was going to say, I think we're going to call it done, but I do. I'm not upset by that. I'm okay. I'd like to have done a lot more with it, but if I'm going to fight these things, then I'm not going to enjoy it. I did enjoy the process, though. Would I do this again? I would do this again. So I'm just trying to see whether I'm kind of balanced with the work I've done on here. I'm just following the edge of the lines where the paint worked its way around and bled. This feels like it needs something. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I think I could go on fiddling for hours with this, And I really don't mind where I'm at. Is it the same as Kate's? No. Was it ever going to be the same as Kate's? No, it certainly was not. And that's because we're all individual, unique artists. Have I enjoyed it? Yes, I have. What have I learned from it? I think I should have stayed with the paler wash and not actually added more colour to it. That was probably my acrylic head coming into play, because they're really quite dark and heavy looking. They're stone. They're supposed to be heavy looking. Let's not go there on that one. Is it a lesson I'll repeat? Heck yes. I want to do this again. I want to choose different palettes to see what the effect is. I do quite like it. I really do. Not disappointed. As with everything, you only learn by doing. So guys, I'm going to call this done. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. So I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.